Canon's R-series cameras blur together fast, and it's easy to overpay for full frame when an APS-C body would do or skip stabilization you actually needed. We'll break down the best Canon cameras by real use, vlogging, travel, sports, and weddings, so by the end you know which one fits your work and budget. Let's get into it. Starting off at number 5, the Canon EOS R50 with its lens kit. This is the one I'd point a first-time mirrorless buyer toward, and there's a real reason it earns the spot. For me, the headline here is the autofocus. Canon dropped their dual-pixel CMOS AF the second generation into a body this small and this affordable. That means subject detection for people, animals, and even vehicles, with tracking that actually sticks. So if you're shooting kids running around or a pet that won't sit still, the camera does the hard work for you. At this level, that kind of autofocus reliability used to cost a lot more. Then there's the sensor, 24 megapixels on an APS-C chip paired with the Digic X processor. In practice, that's clean, detailed images and 4K video that's oversampled from 6K, uncropped, up to 30 frames. Translation: your footage looks sharp without you fiddling with settings. And what buyers keep coming back to is exactly that. The picture quality jumps way past a phone, and it stays dead simple to operate even if you've never touched a real camera. Now the catch, and you knew it was coming, there's no in-body stabilization here, no IBIS, so for handheld video, you're leaning on the lens stabilization, or a gimbal. There's also just one card slot, which pro shooters won't love. But here's the thing, this camera was never built for the wedding photographer who needs a backup slot. It's built for travel, family events, and light vlogging, and for that it punches well above its price. The vari-angle touchscreen flips all the way around, so framing your own shots while vlogging is easy. Bluetooth and Wi-Fi let you push photos straight to your phone too. For someone upgrading from a smartphone who wants room to grow into the Canon RF system, this is genuinely strong value for money. The link is in the description. Moving to number 4, the Canon EOS R7. This is the one I'd hand to anyone chasing fast subjects, and it earns that spot for one big reason: the autofocus. Canon's dual-pixel CMOS AF the second generation covers basically the whole frame, near 100%. So tracking doesn't fall apart the moment your subject drifts to the edge. For birds in flight, a dog mid-sprint, kids at a game, that's the kind of autofocus reliability that used to live in much pricier bodies. And the subject detection for animals comes up again and again in reviews as the standout. Then there's the sensor, 32.5 megapixels on an APS-C chip. That resolution isn't just for bragging. With the 1.6 crop factor, your telephoto lenses reach further, and all those pixels give you room to crop hard into a distant subject and still keep detail. For wildlife and sports, that combination is genuinely useful. Now, the contrast with the entry-level pick lower down. This one has IBIS, real in-body stabilization, 5 axes. So handheld video and low-light stills get steadier without you bolting on a gimbal. Pair that with 15 frames per second on the mechanical shutter, 30 on electronic, and you've got a serious action machine. On video, it holds up too. Oversampled 4K, 4K 60, 10-bit C-Log 3 if you grade your footage. And owners report no real overheating or recording limits in normal use, which matters if you shoot long. There's a review from Ethan that sums up the daily reality. A year in, and I'm still getting over 500 shots on a single charge, even with heavy burst shooting and constant autofocus. The battery has held up way better than I expected. When real-world numbers land like that, I trust them. The trade-off. Some owners describe it as quality with quirks. The menus and a few ergonomic choices take getting used to, and being APS-C, you won't get that creamy full-frame background blur for portraits. That's the nature of the format, not a flaw. You gain reach, you give up a little shallow depth of field. You'll find the link in the description. Moving to number 3, the Canon EOS R10. This one earns its spot on pure value for money, and I'll tell you exactly why. Look, the R10 takes a lot of what makes Canon's pricier bodies good and packs it into something lighter and cheaper. The autofocus is the headline. Same dual-pixel CMOS F, the second generation, with subject detection for people, animals, and vehicles. So for kids running, a dog mid-sprint, or casual street stuff, the keeper rate is genuinely high. Owners keep saying the same thing. The autofocus reliability feels way above the price. Then there's the speed. 15 frames per second on the mechanical shutter, 23 on electronic. That's fast. Fast enough to catch the moment between movements where a phone would miss it entirely. For a body at this level, that burst is hard to match. And if this comparison is helping you sort out the lineup, subscribing really supports the channel so we can keep posting these. On the sensor, you get 24 megapixels on APS-C with the Digic X processor, classic Canon color, clean files you can edit, and oversampled 4K at 30 frames. As a hybrid camera for photo and video, it gives you more than the price suggests. Now the catch, and it's the same trade-off as the entry pick lower down, no IBIS. So for handheld video, you lean on stabilized lenses or a gimbal. Battery is the other one. It's just okay. So a spare in your bag is smart for long days or heavy 4K. And there's a single card slot, which the paid work crowd will note. Here's how I see it. Compared to number 4, the R10 gives up the in-body stabilization and some reach, but it's lighter, friendlier, and easier on the wallet. For someone stepping into the Canon RF system who wants modern autofocus without full-frame money, this is a lot of camera for the spend. The link is in the description. Moving to number 2, the Canon EOS R6 Mark II body. This is where the list steps up to full frame, and the jump is real. So far, we've been in APS-C territory. This one changes the math. 24.2 megapixels on a full-frame sensor gives you cleaner low-light performance, and that shallower depth of field for portraits the crop bodies can't quite match. It's not the highest resolution number out there, and that's deliberate. Bigger pixels mean better files in the dark and less storage eating your drives. For me, the real draw is how it works as one body for everything. 40 frames per second on the electronic shutter, 12 on mechanical, with a buffer deep enough to hold the burst. The autofocus reliability is the part people keep coming back to. It locks onto eyes, animals, vehicles, and just holds. For weddings, events, or fast kids, that keeper rate is what you're paying for. On video, it holds its own too. Full-width 4K 60, oversampled from 6K, 10-bit if you grade, and there's no fixed recording limit, so long events don't cut out on you. There's a review from Marcus that sums up the appeal. I've leaned on this body for professional work for 2 years now, both stills and video, and it still performs at a pro level. One camera covers my whole shoot without feeling like a compromise. When someone trusts it that long for paid work, that tells me plenty. Now the trade-off. Push the electronic shutter at 40 frames and rolling shutter can creep into fast pans. For critical action, you stay on mechanical, and it skips the stacked sensor and dual CFX press slots of Canon's flagship bodies. For high-end broadcast pros, that counts. For most hybrid shooters, it really doesn't. The 8-stop IBIS is the quiet hero here. Handheld in low light, it keeps things steady without a gimbal bolted on. The link is in the description. Before we reveal our number 1, be sure to check out the description below for the freshest deals on each of these items. And at number 1, the camera I'd hand most people stepping into full frame. The Canon EOS R8. It takes the top spot because of one simple thing. It puts serious full-frame quality into the lightest RF body Canon makes. Here's the core of it. 24.2 megapixels on a full-frame sensor, the same image engine you find in Canon's pricier bodies. So you get cleaner low-light performance, real dynamic range, and that shallower depth of field for portraits. Files stay clean way up the ISO range, which is exactly what you want for night, indoors, or events. The autofocus is the other half of the story. Dual pixel CMOS AF the second generation with subject detection across the whole frame. It locks onto eyes, people, animals, even vehicles, and holds. And you get up to 40 frames per second on the electronic shutter. For a body this cheap and this light, that burst is genuinely surprising for casual sports. There's a review from Olivia that nails the appeal. I get image quality that honestly matches Canon's much more expensive cameras, but in something I barely feel in my bag. For travel and everyday shooting, the lightweight changed how often I actually carry it. When the weight is the reason you bring the camera at all, that counts for a lot. Now the trade-off, and it's a clear one. There's no in-body stabilization here, no IBIS. So for handheld video, you lean on stabilized lenses or a gimbal. The battery is modest too. One real-world shooter got somewhere around 500 to 800 raw frames in a single match before the warning kicked in. So a spare in your bag is smart, and it's a single card slot with simpler controls, no joystick, which the paid work crowd will note. But look at what you're getting. Full-frame image quality, modern autofocus reliability, and 4K 60 oversampled from 6K, all in the lightest body of the bunch. For the enthusiast who wants full frame without the full frame weight or price, this is the sweet spot of the whole lineup. The link is in the description. You can now tell what holds up from what falls short. If you're stepping into mirrorless for the first time, number 5 does the job. If you're chasing fast subjects like wildlife or sports, number 4 gives you the reach and stabilization. And if you want full frame quality in the lightest body for travel and everyday shooting, number 1 is the sweet spot. Amazon prices go up and down. Check them in the links in the description.